Hello. So I'm actually filming this intro after I've recorded all of this video, just because I didn't know exactly what the plan was and exactly what I was doing. But hello and welcome to the video. So in this video I read all of the ACOTAR books, as in like books 1, 2, 3 and 3.5. I haven't read the fourth book, which is the most up-to-date book that is out, but there is no release date yet for books 5 and 6, so no rush, but I will probably read it soon. Don't want to give too many spoilers, but quite like them. Yeah, so these are the four books that I'm reading this week. So we're going to start with A Court of Thorns and Roses, then go to A Court of Mist and Fury, then A Court of Wings and Ruin, and then A Court of Frost and Starlight. So these are the 4 books, and the basics is I just want to get through some series. Like, I've got so many fantasy books like upstairs on the unread bookshelves, and fantasy is the genre that I like the most, but because so many of them are series, like I don't sit down and commit to reading them. And why am I not reading what I enjoy the most? So I have read A Court of Thorns and Roses before. I read this when it first came out, but between then I've had like a massive reading slump where I didn't really read for a couple of years, and I've never continued on with the series. So I do now have all the books that are currently out in paperback, but yeah, I've only ever read this one, and it was, well, it was whenever this came out, 2015, so I probably read this in either 2015 or 2016, so it's been a while. It's been a long while. I don't really have like the greatest memory of it, but I remember the overall gist of things, so still really excited to read it. And yeah, this is the plan for the week. So I'm going to read book 1 first, which is great. I'm going to read the back of the book and then we'll get into it. Before I do that, I just want to say there will be spoilers in this video. Yeah, like I will timestamp it down below, so it's split up into each book. So if you've only read book 1, you can watch book 1 and not watch the rest. If you've read books 1 and 2, you can watch that and not watch the rest, so on and so forth. But yeah, when I am talking about the books, when I'm discussing them, there are going to be spoilers, because I really don't have a way to not do a spoiler vlog when it comes to series, because there's no way for me to talk about book 2 without spoiling some of book 1 because of the events that are going to lead up to book 2. So yeah, it will be spoilery. I'll try and keep the spoilers as like minimal as possible for book 1, but I can't guarantee it. So yeah, let's start with book 1 and read the back. Feyre is a huntress. She thinks nothing of slaughtering a wolf to capture its prey, but like all mortals, she feels what lingers mercilessly beyond the forest, and she will learn that taking the life of a magical creature comes at a high price. Imprisoned in an enchanted court in her enemy's kingdom, Feyre is free to roam but forbidden to escape. Her captor's body bears the scars of fighting, and his face is always masked, but his piercing stare draws her ever closer. As Feyre's feelings for Tamlin begin to burn through every warning she's been told about his kind, an ancient wicked shadow grows. Feyre must find a way to break a spell or lose her heart forever. Hello. So I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't gonna mention that I've started reading this early, but basically I normally start the weekly vlogs on a Monday and end them on a Saturday or Sunday. So last week's weekly reading vlog ended on a Saturday, so it's now Sunday, and I don't know how it happened, but somehow I've read the first 33 chapters of this book, but like I haven't been recording. I think I did a little time lapse thing first, but I haven't been recording because I was just expecting to read like the first 2 or 3 chapters just to like get into it and then like properly start reading it tomorrow. But yeah, it's really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. So here's the thing, I know from online discourse that people end up not liking Tamlin, and right now I think he's a bit annoying, but I'm 33 chapters in. I'm like about to start chapter 34 if I decide to pick it up again today, which I probably will. And like, yeah, like the only thing that's really annoying me is how much he's like blocking Feyre out of everything and not letting her do what she wants. Like, in terms of, she's not a prisoner, but she's also not allowed to really know what's going on and not allowed to know things and all this and that, which, like, I don't know. But basically I know that everyone really likes Rhysand, so I always called him Rhysand. So yeah, have I even mentioned this yet? I'll have done an introduction, but when I read this book the first time around, which was many years ago, I called him Rhysand, which, if you look in the back of the book at the pronunciations, it does say Rhysand, not Rhysand. But I'm struggling with it, and I'm also listening to the audiobook, so they are obviously calling him Rhysand, not Rhysand. So I need to get my head around that. But yeah, overall, it's a really good book and a really good time. So obviously it started out with Feyre. Yeah, whatever, we're going full spoiler in this, it doesn't really matter. So Feyre killed the fairy that was a wolf, and Tamlin, who at the time we didn't know was Tamlin, came after her to collect her life debt. They're obviously going into this knowing that it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I feel like it's pretty obvious that the disease isn't a disease, it's a curse. However, that's just because I knew that it was a retelling. I don't feel like it was made like super obvious throughout and stuff. So Feyre, up until very, very recently, like I think a chapter or 2 ago, thought that there was just a disease. She didn't realise that it was a curse and like everything, and obviously if she would have said I love him to his face, or I love you to his face, he would have gotten his powers back. Plus something else about the curse that she doesn't know because they still can't tell her. But whatever. It's been a fun time. I really enjoyed the start of the book and the figuring things out, figuring out who's good and who's bad and who we like and who we don't like, and I really enjoy that part of it. I enjoyed the drama of the fire festival, and she wouldn't stay in her room and all that. And then I feel like we're just kind of getting into the fact, it felt like they were just going to start to tell her properly like what was going on and what was happening. They'd started eating at a smaller table together. This is her Tamlin and Lucian. And then she got sent home and now she's back. So yeah, like I really have skipped so much of this, but I'm enjoying it. Like, I don't have a lot of like deep intense feelings. I was thinking I might want to have it, but to be honest there hasn't been any need. Like, there's been some moments that I've really enjoyed, there's been some moments that made me laugh, and there have been some moments that made me angry. So maybe I could have tabbed that if I really wanted to, but like for this book it really didn't seem necessary. I still might do it for the future ones, but yeah, it just didn't seem necessary. And yeah, it's just really good. I'm really enjoying it, I'm having a great time. She's back now, and the point I've got to is she's just gone into the tunnel to get to under the mountain because she's going to go and try and help. I'm probably just going to keep reading, honestly, and I don't know if I will finish it today, but there's really not a lot left. I'm on 120 pages. So yeah, I think, although these are very big books, the way they're reading and how quickly they're reading, I think it's going to be an alright week. Also, right now, this is definitely like 4 or 5 stars. Like, I'm not sure which yet, but there's potential for this to be 5 stars. Let's see. Okay, I finished it. I think I'm gonna give it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was a good time. Yeah, I mean, it was obvious how it was gonna end. Not only because it is like a YA fantasy, so tends to be the good guys win, but because this book one does follow the traditional Beauty and the Beast retelling, you know it's gonna happen. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time. I do think the solution to the riddle was very obvious. Like, even as the riddle was originally given, I felt it was very obvious. Like, there weren't many things that it could have been, and I don't feel like it would have taken 3 months to figure it out and only figure it out because you were dying. Yeah, but overall I liked it, and I did like Rhysand. I thought it was a good introduction. Like, yeah, I feel like obviously we didn't see a lot of him, but what we did see, I feel like you can tell that there's more to him than like what is obviously being shown. Like, I don't know, it's difficult because like when things are described, like me as a grown adult can read between the lines and see what's going on, whereas the main character's not necessarily going to do that. So I don't know, but yeah, it's a really good time. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the trials. I enjoyed how she couldn't read the one, and because she got linked with this like magical tattoo link, Rhysand told her which one was correct. And I also feel like because, you know, like the last 10 chapters or whatever, we saw not detailed bits but a lot of different bits about all the different courts. Like, all of the courts were there, they were all being made to live under this mountain. I feel like it really does open up how much we can explore. Obviously in the next book I presume we're going to be exploring the spring court again, but also the night court. So yeah, it's a good time. Should I be getting on with my day? Yes. Am I just going to start reading the next book until I have to do something? Yes. On to book number 2. We've got A Court of Mist and Fury, which is a fair bit chunkier than the first one. 624 pages. But I'm just going to give it a start. Yeah. And I do think that the audiobook for this one is also on Scribd, so I'm going to find that. But I really did enjoy the audiobook for the first one. I thought it was pretty decent. So yeah, that's what's going on, and I'll check in as and when. No, I won't check in as and when. Well, I will check in as and when, but first of all I'm going to read the back of the book to figure out what we're doing. Feyre is immortal. She has rescued her lover Tamlin from the sadistic fairy queen and now possesses fey powers beyond imagining. But Feyre cannot forget the destruction she wrought to save her beloved, nor the bargain she made with Rhysand, High Lord of the feared Night Court. And as Feyre is drawn ever deeper into Rhysand's world, she senses a dark pain in his heart that echoes her own. For good or ill, Feyre must embrace the changes within her. War is looming, and only the full might of her new powers can save the people she loves. Let's just give it a read. Well, I'm currently 12 pages in and I'm already annoyed at and like kind of not liking Tamlin already, which I've got to say is pretty impressive. I'm 12 pages in and yeah, he's not coming across very well at all. Yeah, quite controlling, and it seems like this relationship has moved to a proper relationship, but he doesn't see her as their equal, and no, we're not about that. We are not about that. Okay, so from now on this is obviously going to be spoilery for this book, so if you're not meant to be here, goodbye. But yeah, I am now 80 pages in and it's really good. So Feyre and Tamlin were meant to get married, but then she wanted to back out, so Rhysand came and saved her, but like saved her because he felt it through the bond. And we've just ended her first week of their agreement of like her going and living in the Night Court. So he didn't call on her for the first 3 months, but then he went and like got her for a week, so she's just got back after living there for a week. And I mean, honestly, it's pretty obvious already that like him and his court is much better for her mental and physical and emotional well-being than Tamlin's court. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited to see how it's going to play out, because like everyone could kind of see that she was backing out at this wedding, but like then she just went to the Light Court. So I don't know if that's going to be like sorted out, if like how Tamlin is going to react, what's actually been going on at the Spring Court this week that she's been gone. I don't know, but yeah, I'm really excited to keep finding out more, and it's a really easy book to read and it's just fun. We do think there's a war that's going to happen at some point, and already Rhysand has been helping her with learning how to read, learning her like mental barriers for their like bond that's between them, so she can like put a wall up, and also thinks that she has other powers and is already like telling her what's actually going on in the world, which obviously like Tamlin isn't, because no, Tamlin is not a supportive partner. Yeah, I'm over Tamlin already, to be quite honest, which I'm surprised it happened so quickly. Like, I already knew that everyone was very much like team Rhysand, I guess. Like, I don't think it's ever like a, what do you call it, like a Twilight thing where there's like the freedom, like a love triangle. I don't think it ever goes to that, but I know that a lot of people are very much like Rhysand. So I expected to get there, and I expected to be like, yeah, like Rhysand is obviously better, but didn't expect it to happen so quickly. So there we go. I'm going to keep reading and yeah, figure out what's going on. Hi, hello, good morning. I was a slight idiot last night and stayed up till 5 AM. I didn't know the time. I didn't do it purposely. I was just reading, and like I didn't have my phone on me because it was on charge. And suddenly I got to part 3 where it says The House of Mist, and I was like, wow, I've read quite a bit tonight. I should probably check the time, and it was 10 to 5. So I went straight to bed. But now I've only had about 5 hours sleep, and just feel like today's going to be a difficult one. So I thought I'd come and do a quick update of what has stood out over what I've read the last few days. Okay, let's just start with the biggie that's just been revealed. So Feyre and Rhysand are mates. I still don't understand that part of like the fairy world, and I'm hoping it's understood a bit better, because like apparently it's just clicked into place for him when she was reborn a fairy in the last book. But she didn't know until she capped another cereal, and cereal just kind of let it slip. So she's now gone off to be by herself in a little house in the woods to sort through her feelings. But like, that's something I wasn't expecting. That I expected them to get together, but I don't think I expected that to like already be a thing. And you know, they haven't really got together yet, you know, like there was the whole trope of being at the inn and there's only one bed in the room and they have to fit in it. But like they haven't really got together, and like that was very much said like just fun. So yeah, I don't know, I really don't know, but I'm sure we're going to figure that out very shortly. In terms of like the politics that's going on right now, basically the King of Highburn wants to have war, wants to take over all of the Fey realm and like get rid of the human realm, or like make the humans back into slaves. That part's not really sure what he wants to do to the humans, whether he just wants to kill them or enslave them. So they've been trying to get this book back together, and they managed to steal the Fey half of the book to essentially nullify the cauldron, which will stop the king from being able to like destroy the wall and get over it. They managed to steal that from the Summer Court, but now they're wanted like felons in the summer court essentially. So it didn't go amazing. Like they stole it successfully, but once they'd stole it, it was very obvious it was them, so they had to leave straight away. So I don't know, I guess it was successful. And then in the mortal world, there are 6 queens, we've learned. Don't know why the 6 queens or what's going on with them, but the 6 queens. We've met 5 of them, and basically they all hold the other half of this book, and once the book is together, it'll able to be translated, and Feyre alone will be able to use that translation on the cauldron when they eventually find the cauldron, because I'm assuming they need to have it like with them rather than just knowing it's out there somewhere. Again, hasn't been really explained, but that's what I'm assuming. They will, once they've got that, they will have to find the cauldron that we know the King of Highburn has somewhere. And yeah, they have met with the queens once, and the queens didn't want to give them the book, quite obviously. They don't trust Rhysand because even they've heard of the Night Court. Obviously, like, we know, I don't even know if I've checked up since we've learnt that the Night Court, well, we knew it wasn't all bad when she was first going, but she's now been shown like the secret city that they're protected for like 5,000 years, and it's actually a really nice place, and Rhysand's persona is like a complete mask, and there is a part of the Night Court that's like under the mountain, but he just lets other people rule it who want to be like brutal and savage, because he doesn't want that. But yeah, it's all really great, and basically they need to prove to the queens that they're good people. With doing that, they've been meeting the queens at Feyre's family home. So we have seen Elaine and Nesta again, and like seeing them interact with like the Fae and seeing all that, and how like especially Nesta is still just like, boom, like I don't give a shit that you could snap me in half, like I'm a bitch, I'm gonna go for you. Honestly, like I relate to that, and I can definitely see how, I think Nesta's got her own book now. I'm pretty sure the 5th book that came out is now moving on to Nesta, and Nesta's gonna have her own series. But I can definitely see how both of the sisters could like have their own stories, have their own books. Like they're very much, gave good character energy. Like they didn't give main character energy, but obviously they're not the main characters of this book, so they wouldn't. But yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I've enjoyed their interactions, and enjoyed seeing Feyre and like the other Fae go back there and try and figure out what they need to do, and it's just been a good time. It has been a lot of figuring out, along with just some character building stuff really, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a good time, and I'm going to keep reading. Apparently Geoff's going to keep reading as well. Obviously that's good. We're like an intelligent cat. But yeah, I think overall it's been a really good time. We definitely have a lot still to explore, and there's not much left to this book. So I'm guessing that some of it is going to be moved over into like the next book, and we'll figure it out more fully there. But overall, having a good time, excited to finish it. Okay, so I finished this book and it was really good. There's a lot that's going to happen in the next book. Pretty sure that like books 1, 2 and 3 are essentially like their own little trilogy, like they wrap up at the end of the next book. So yeah, a lot to happen. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like obviously Feyre and Rhysand are now together, and we found out at the very end that she's now High Lady of the Night Court. However, she's also now back with Tamlin, because she had to do that to stop everyone getting killed. Yeah, I don't know, it was really good. Like honestly, like once they got captured by the king, it just moved so fast, everything happened. Her sisters are now Fae. Like what? Okay, didn't see that one come in. Yeah, and like she basically just figured out a way to take all the wards down, pretend that she'd been like mind tricked by Rhysand, and sort everything out so no one died. Which camera died, but I wanted to finish this update, so hopefully the quality hasn't gone down too much. But yeah, basically it was really cool that she managed to do that, but also then right at the end, like the last but one chapter, we got Rhysand's perspective for the first time, which was really cool. Essentially the bond's not broken. They'd made a High Fae the night before, and that all that he really broke was the like thing of having to spend a week there every month, and yeah, it just ended really well, and it ended with so many like cliffhangers and so many things going on, like, are Cassian and Az gonna be okay? Amryn was very upset that Faye wasn't there, like she obviously, like, you know, likes her. How are Tamlin and Lucien gonna figure this out now? They've promised this king to attack the country through their borders. Like, what? Why the fuck would you? Yeah, we don't like Tamlin. We don't like Tamlin. Lucien also was like, Elaine's my mate. Like, what? Okay, bit sudden. But yeah, and suspects Feyre quite a lot, I think. And it basically ended with Rysand saying that they're going to go to war and eventually get Feyre back when she's ready. And Feyre ending with being like, I am going to be a part of this court, and getting Tamlin to invite her inside. And he essentially just allowed Feyre to go inside and infiltrate the Spring Court as the High Lady of the Night Court. And yeah, it was great. Really enjoyed the end of it. Honestly, I think I'm going to give this one 5 stars too. There were definitely chunks in it that are a bit like, let's move a bit quicker now, you know. I think we did spend quite a long time on the romance, so often the like political side of it and what was going on in the world felt like it was quite slow, and like it wasn't like happening fast enough, but overall it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it, so yeah, I will check in before I start book 3. Feyre will bring vengeance. She has left the Night Court and her High Lord, and is playing a deadly game of deceit. Her former lover Tamlin is making deals with Feyre's enemies, and she is determined to uncover his plans. But can she make him believe she has come back to him when every fibre of her being yearns for Rysand? As mighty armies clash, Feyre will discover she is not the only one hiding something, and as the web of secrets, lies and betrayals is revealed, fighting for the truth may cost Feyre and her court the ultimate price. Hello. Okay, so I'm hoping that this looks okay. I'm filming very weirdly. Basically, I've got really bad back pain. I mean, I don't know how much it's going to impact the entire week. It's only Tuesday today, but I know that at least when you're watching this, hopefully I'll have caught up with everything, so it'll just be last week. But I already know that like I missed my Monday upload, and I can't edit today. So yeah, hopefully I've still got 3 videos up last week, but I am in so much pain. So yeah, however, because I'm in so much pain, I just need to lie in a comfortable position, which right now is on the side of the settee with a hot water bottle in the back of my dungarees. But you know what? I'm not in too much pain. It's kind of working. So we're just going to keep it as it is. But yeah, because of that, I'm just reading. I'm literally just reading. I've got the book here, which I'm hoping I'm going to be able to like hold open and shit. But I'm listening to the audiobook for this one as well. However, having said that, since the last time I checked in, I'm now like this far of the way through, which is probably like I'm still less than halfway through, but like I'm getting close. And it's really, really good. So we spent the first bit of the book with Feyre in the Spring Court, and she was like getting in there. She was like finding out all the plans, finding out what they were doing, and because of that they figured out something with the cauldron isn't working properly. So it at least means that like they can't just bring the wall down. The baddie, that is, like the king, can't just bring the wall down and start raining terror on the humans. So, you know, that's always good. And then she got out of the Spring Court, but ended up having to take Lucien with her because of what was going on. So then they're both back at the Night Court. She obviously like reconnected with everyone. Everyone knows that she's like the High Lady of the Night Court. Yeah, it's a really interesting thing so far. Like they're trying to basically gather everyone to fight in the war. They've got the armies of Under the Mountain, the other territory in the Night Court, to say like they'll fight with them. and we're now kind of on the build up to a big meeting that's been set for all of the High Lords of all of the 7 places to like meet up and say if they're fighting or not, basically. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time, honestly, and I think it's just really interesting. There's so much going on, and I feel like there's so many things that like are starting to come together. Yeah, and like Amren's working on some stuff and it's not completely clear what she's doing, but she's like working on like books with old spells and stuff to do with the cauldron, so like it feels like that's going to come together soon. Nesta has taken something from the cauldron when she went into it at the end of the last book. We don't know what, but we're thinking it's death. Elaine's a complete mess and no one really knows why or understands what's going on, but I think they are trying to at least figure that out. And yeah, overall we're just having a good time. Cassian definitely likes Nesta. Nesta definitely does not like Cassian. Asriel is teaching Feyre how to fly, because obviously like he didn't learn till later on, because his backstory is that he was kept locked away for 8 years because he was a bastard. So he didn't learn how to fly until later on in life, so he's now teaching Feyre because obviously she can shapeshift and has her own wings. So yeah, it's all just a really good time and I'm really enjoying it. So that's that. I've also just been joined by my little boy. You having a good groom? Yeah, you having a good groom? So yeah, I'm just gonna chill and read for a bit, and I'll probably just check in when I remember to, honestly. Okay, I finished this book last night. It was really good. I think it's still gonna get 5 stars. I don't know, I feel like there was quite a while during reading it that I felt like it was just 4 stars. I feel like the last third of it was really, really good. It was really action-packed, there was loads going on, and it was kind of always constantly changing and turning what needed to happen. So many characters were developed in like so many ways. There was like, you know, like I feel like for a lot of the characters, especially like the ones that we're seeing the most of, the ones from the Night Court, you could really see the growth in them and like what was happening and what was changing and how they're reacting to everything. And yeah, it was a really, really good time. However, the first 2/3 of the book, I feel like where I was like, this might only be a 4 stars, like I don't know if I'm enjoying this as much. Everything I was reading was really, really good. It just felt like it was moving really, really slow. It was a lot of meetings, a lot of organising, a lot of following, yeah, whatever. What Highburn were up to, what they were doing, who they could trust, who was on whose side. And yeah, like it wasn't bad. I enjoyed all of it, but I just wasn't loving all of it. Yeah, I feel like at the end in the main fight, I'd say there were some unnecessary things still. Like they gave Feyre, Nesta and Elaine's dad like a bit of a redemption arc. Like we still don't know the dad's name, we just know that it's their dad. But like honestly, he was a pretty shitty guy. Like, and then randomly at the end it was like, oh, let's give him this big redemption arc. He's leading this whole like human army, he's got everyone to come, he's freed the missing queen, like look how good he is, because he didn't do anything for so many years. And it's just like, was that really necessary? Did we really need to go there? I feel like a good thing that by the end Elaine didn't seem so like broken. I feel like that's a pretty shitty word to use, but like that really was how she felt. It felt like she wasn't fully there, she wasn't fully herself, like she was very away. But it felt like that was no longer the case. I liked the ending. Obviously like they won. And then we saw just a little bit of them going back to the Night Court, and I thought it was done well. There's still a lot of open-ended questions, or just things that weren't cleared up. I'm guessing that when this book was released, it was known that she was going to write more. But this really does feel like the end of it, like the first trilogy, essentially. Like The fourth book is actually in Feyre's perspective, so I'm going to read it in a minute. But this really does feel like the end of a trilogy. Like, this is book 1 to 3, and I guess 4 as well, but like this was very conclusional at the end. Feel like Feyre's books. And then I know that book 5 is in Nesta's perspective, and I don't know what's happening with the other 2 books, but I know that there is going to be a book 6 and a book 7. I don't know, it was good. I enjoyed it. I had a really good time. I like that we learn a lot more about all of the different courts. Like, we really do know a lot about most of the courts, honestly. Like, we met all of them properly. We know a few facts about their like main people, their High Lord, and like the people around them, and like what they do. And I feel like having so many new characters really allowed for that to be a thing, because like it didn't feel like information dump heavy. It just felt natural the way that they were like, we slowly got all of that information, so that was really good. And yeah, it was a really good time. Basically, I haven't decided if I'm going to give it 4.5 or 5 stars. So I do feel like it fell a bit weaker the first 2 books. And I don't mean in like content and, you know, like if it was good like technically. I just mean like how much you wanted to keep picking it up, I guess. Like, I put this book down a lot in between reading, which does mean I should have updated more, but we'll forget about that. But yeah, like even though I put it down in between reading, I did still want to pick it back up, but I just, that same pull to be like, let's just keep reading, let's just keep reading, wasn't there until we got to like the last third of it. I don't know. I think I will probably give it 5 stars. Yeah, I think 4.5 or 5. I'll figure it out. I'll look at my little spreadsheet later and figure it out. But yeah, so that was book 3, A Court of Wings and Ruin. However, as I mentioned earlier, it turns out book 4 is also in Feyre's perspective, and I feel like it's just like a little, here's a happy little book to tide you over whilst I'm writing some more. Like, I don't know this, I'm 100% assuming this. This is not fact, this is purely my speculation. But that's what I imagine this book being. It's very short, it doesn't look like there's a lot to it, but it is from Feyre's perspective, and it is after all this has happened, I believe. So I figured I might as well read it now, because although this feels concluded, I'm hoping that the few open-ended bits that I feel like we have in terms of like the main characters, who I'm assuming will still be there in the other books because like they all still live in the Night Court, but whatever, I'm hoping that that will be kind of like talked about a little bit in this one. So this is A Court of Frost and Starlight, and on the back it says, on the darkest night the stars still shine. Feyre's first winter solstice as High Lady is drawing near. With it will come a hard-earned rest from the work that she, Rysand, and their friends have done to build the Night Court and the vastly changed world beyond. Yet the festive atmosphere can't keep shadows from looming. Even as her own heart heals, she finds that those dearest to her have wounds that go deeper than she knew, and the scars of the past will touch her court in times to come. It sounds really good, it sounds interesting, and obviously like, we as the reader, like without reading the back of this, know that the winter solstice is also her birthday. I'm pretty sure. I'm now going to Google that, but I'm sure that that's what I read. Yeah, December 21st and winter solstice. Okay, yes. There we go. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good time. I'm going to give it a read. I don't know if I'll check in because it is only tiny. I think it's like 200 pages-ish. Yeah, just over 200 pages. What are we at? 229 pages. So I'll try and check in halfway through if there's a good point to talk about. Honestly, I'm not expecting this to be as good as the others, just because like it's only short. Like, we're not going to really have a massive plot, I don't think. I think it's going to be more character focused, and I do enjoy a more plot driven book, but let's give it a go. Okay, so I just thought I'd quickly check in. I've read chapter 1 and 2 and just got to chapter 3. And chapter 3 is from Cassian's point of view. So chapter 1 was Feyre, chapter 2 was Rhysand. So I was just like, you know, like we've had both their perspectives before, but then chapter 3 has gone to Cassian. So like, I don't know if we're going to get perspectives from everyone. Like, I'm having a flick through and trying to only look at the chapter titles. But I've seen Morrigan, I've seen Cassian again. It looks like most of them are from Feyre's perspective, but like we definitely get Cassian and Morrigan. And a couple from Rhysand's perspective. But I don't know, like it's interesting. It's not quite what I expected. It looks like we get about, oh, that said Nesta in one of the chapters, and I don't know what that means exactly. It wasn't a whole chapter from her perspective. I don't know. But yeah, very interesting. So far it's just like chill catch up. Like we've heard Feyre's perspective on what's been happening and Rhys's perspective on what's been happening. And basically they're all just working towards having a quiet solstice together. So yeah, no massive thing going on, but just chill times, and it's going to be really interesting to start reading from Cassian's perspective, so I'm going to go get to that. Okay, so I finished A Court of Frost and Starlight. It was good, it was cute. There wasn't much plot, like not a great deal happened, but it's just like a nice little added extra. I've given it 4 stars because I really enjoyed it. I don't necessarily think it was necessary, but I do know like what the next book is about. The next book I'm not reading in this video, but I'm sure I'll read at some point soon, is A Court of Silver Flames. And that one is focused on Nesta, so I do feel like we do see bits in here that I'm guessing will just make the next book pick up a bit easier, I'm guessing. And obviously it is really nice to see like all the different characters and have so many different perspectives. Like in the other books we haven't really gone into like anyone else's head and be able to see like how they see the world and how they see things that are going on. So yeah, like that was just a really nice part of it. So yeah, really enjoyed it, gave it 4 stars. And I think that is the end of the video, to be honest. I've read all the books now. I read all 4 books. Well, I'll say all 4. The 4 that I currently have and that are currently out in paperback in this series. So we've got A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and A Court of Frost and Starlight. So yeah, these are the 4. We got a 5-star, 5-star, 5-star and 4-star. Had a really good reading week. Really, honestly, I've done nothing this week but read, and I really needed it. I really needed that break from like putting any pressure on myself to do anything else. The house is a bit of a shit tip now, but we'll ignore that. Yeah, this was a really good week and I really enjoyed this series. I'm definitely going to be continuing on. I have already looked online and there's no release date for like the next books, because I think there's like 2 like big books that are like untitled, no release date, but have like been committed to, and there's one more like little smaller like novella type book that's been, again, untitled, no release date, but been committed to. So yeah, those were all of the books. Really hope you enjoyed the video. Do give it a like if you liked it. Subscribe down below if you'd like to see more content like this, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.